Season 1 of Vikings Valhalla begins with King Ethelred II, the ruler of England, ordering the deaths of all Danish settlers in his country. The Danish king Canute calls for every Viking warrior to attend a meeting in Kattegat, with the intent to form an army to exact revenge. Vikings arriving in Kattegat include Harold Sigurdsson, mourning the death of his brother Sten in the massacre, Harold's older brother Olaf Haraldsson, a devout Christian, and Gunnar Magnusson, a friend and loyal follower of Olaf. Olaf and Gunnar's Christian beliefs put them at odds with the pagan beliefs amongst the other Vikings. Also arriving in Kattegat are siblings Leif and Freydis, and their fellow Greenlander Vikings who are unaware of King Ethelred's massacre and had instead come for Freydis to take her own revenge on a Viking who had assaulted her years prior. That Viking turns out to be Gunnar, whom Freydis kills in Kattegat's Great Hall. Kattegat's ruler Jarl Håkon spares Freydis' life in exchange for Leif and the other Greenlander Vikings joining Harold and the Danes in their quest for vengeance against King Ethelred and the Saxons. As the Vikings arrive in England, King Ethelred's health deteriorates, resulting in his death. Ethelred's son Edmund is crowned the new king of England, and he forms an alliance with Edric Striona, the Ealdorman of Mercia, to fight off the Viking invaders. With his mother Emma and chief counselor Godwin by his side, King Edmund prepares London for the Viking assault. When the Vikings arrive, Edmund ignores the counsel of his closest advisors and leads the Saxons directly into a Viking trap. Canute leads the Vikings in a bloody battle against Edmund's army, eventually defeating the Saxons and capturing London. During the chaos, Edric accepts defeat and abandons Edmund. Following their victory, the Vikings take all of the English nobles captive. Canute spares Edmund's life, but executes Edric for being an oathbreaker. Canute then names himself the first Norse king of England, taking Godwin as his counselor and Emma as his new wife. When King Canute is forced to leave London to fight off an army of Vins in Denmark, his father, King Sweyn Forkbeard, arrives to rule in his place. As Edmund attempts to use Canute's absence to form a rebellion to take back London, Godwin betrays his former king, killing him and officially siding with the Vikings. Meanwhile, Leif mourns all of his fellow Greenlander Vikings that died in battle. The only other Greenlander to survive is his lover Liv. Distraught over the many losses, Leif begins to struggle with his pagan beliefs and contemplates the merits of one true Christian god. Leif then returns to Kattegat with Harold, finally reuniting with his sister Freydis. While Leif was gone, Freydis and Håkon were visited by the seer, who prophesied Freydis' future importance, and so Freydis needed to prepare to fulfill her destiny. Following extensive training from Håkon's shield maidens, Freydis defeats them all to become a shield maiden herself. Freydis also develops a romance with Harold, who has formed a tight friendship with Leif. Meanwhile, Olaf's devout Christian beliefs lead him on a path to eradicate the pagans. He joins forces with fellow religious fanatic Jarl Kare, joining their armies and setting their sights on capturing Kattegat and uniting all of Norway under a Christian ruler. Olaf also forms an alliance with King Canute's spurned Mercian wife, Queen Elthgifu. As Olaf's army prepares to attack Kattegat, Harold joins his brother's side. Secretly, Harold is a double agent, relaying Olaf's plans back to Leif so he can prepare Kattegat for the assault. The Battle of Kattegat is an all-out war, with many casualties on both sides. Jarl Håkon is killed by a volley of arrows, Freydis kills and beheads the villainous Kare, and Olaf mortally wounds Liv, who dies tragically in Leif's arms. Vowing to see his lover again in Valhalla, Leif reaffirms his pagan beliefs and continues on with his fight. Eventually, Olaf's army defeats Kattegat's forces, and Olaf crowns himself the new king of Norway. Harold and Freydis flee the city, just as Forkbeard arrives with Canute's fleet. The villainous Olaf's reign as king is cut short, and he is forced to flee. As Forkbeard reclaims Kattegat for Canute, a grieving Leif brutally murders the followers of Kare who remained in the city, fully giving in to the Viking warrior within.